is a brand new show that you can stream, dropping that knowledge like a guillotine. You about to score big like a touchdown drive, because Ricky New York is about to go live. So subscribe now and do not settle. We taking YouTube content to a whole new level. We got the best roster at every position. These are the brand new Jets. So please stop your bitching. If negativity's a problem, we got the solution. It's called the next step in just fan evolution. Football is back. You better brace for collision, because Ricky New York Live's gonna smoke the competition. It's time for some action. Someone hit the lights, cause it's about the fans of the green and white. Opinions that are stronger than a mountain of steel, and a mouth that's faster than hell on wheels. Yo, a war of words, no one will survive. A war of words, no one will survive. A war of words, no one will survive. Going up against Ricky New York Live. A war of words, no one will survive. A war of words, no one will survive. A war of words, no one will survive. Going up against Ricky New York Live.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. The college football playoffs are over with. All eyes are on Dante Moore. Will he declare? Will he not? We are going to debate all of that tonight. So let's get fired up. Thank you to everybody for joining me. Appreciate you guys as always. While you're here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We just hit 225 and we're pushing towards 250 subs by the Super Bowl. So thank you to everybody who subscribed. And while you're here, hit that like button as hard as you can. So the college football playoffs are over. Now we are all waiting to see, what will Dante Moore do? Will he declare, or will he go back to school? We're going to talk about it tonight. This is Ricky New York Live, and I am Ricky New York.
You've heard of me. Fantastic.
Hope everybody is having an awesome night tonight. Before we get into the football talk, the very first caller to call in on every single show this month is automatically entered in our New Year's giveaway for an autographed Garrett Wilson helmet. You don't have to super chat. You don't have to send memberships. You don't have to do a thing except call in, and you're automatically entered. We'll be drawing the winner on the 31st of this month, but every single show this month, the first person to call in automatically gets entered for the Garrett Wilson helmet, which I had a picture of it up earlier, and where did it go? There it is. So, yes, this nice-ass autographed Garrett Wilson helmet can be yours, and all you have to do is call in. So, I know there are some people that right now are a little bit down on Dante Moore because of his playoff performance. It would be silly to judge a guy on one game. And let's be honest, Indiana has been really good this year. They've gone right through just about every opponent. Good day, Craig. How you doing, mate? Dante Moore has got some really good tape. Everybody says he needs more time to develop. He already sat a year behind Dylan Gabriel. I'm sure there was benefit to that. He will probably sit again in New York. Now, in a perfect world, if I were the Jets, this is what I would do. I would get Malik Willis and Romeo Doubs. You've got your bridge quarterback, and you've got a number 2 receiver now that he already has, chemistry with. They've already played together, so you don't have to wait for that to develop. I started to kind of second guess myself with that idea because I was thinking, man, Garrett's contract is going to kick in pretty soon. we don't want to have to be paying 2 receivers big money. But then when I looked, and I was looking at the wide receiver free agents, which is not a spectacular list. There are no T. Higgins or guys like that are really going to super blow you away. So I'm looking, and his projected salary, what he will get on the open market, was 12 mil, which really is not that bad at all. When I saw that, I was like, hell yeah. Now, being that he's probably one of the better receivers on the market, maybe there's somebody overpays. But I'll tell you what, if that was the price and it was 12 mil, I would sign him in a heartbeat. And I've been watching a lot of his tape this week, and man, he makes some really, really nice catches. Like, that kid's a good receiver. The main thing that I like about him is you never see him catch with his body. He's a hands catcher, always catches it away from his body. Awesome. Fox, good to see you, man. Yeah, I'm really, really, hot on that idea. I think that would be an awesome move by the Jets, and it would give them a lot of flexibility going into the draft. So, the more flexibility we have going into that situation, the better. Likewise with Tyler Linderbaum, you can get him. You've got the center position solidified for years to come. Don't have to worry about that. So, that would be my strategy. But it's also not a foregone conclusion that Mendoza goes number 1. Like, the Raiders are a stupid team that does stupid things. So you never know. I mean, the year that Darnold and Josh Allen came out, like, nobody expected the Browns to take Baker Mayfield number 1 overall and leave Allen and Darnold sitting there. Like, nobody saw that coming. The last time the Raiders drafted a quarterback number 1 overall, it was Jamarcus Russell. So, when it comes to the draft, you just never know. Now, all indications point to the fact that, yes, they're going to take Mendoza. I've reached out to somebody to try to get them on the show that years ago, and I'm talking like years ago, I used to listen to sports radio all the time. And there was a guy on late nights. You guys know I work overnight shift. There was a guy on late night, JT the Brick, and I believe it was on Fox Sports at that time. And I used to listen to his show all the time. I would call into his show. And now he has his own YouTube show as well. So, and I'll tell you what, he was always in Las Vegas, which is crazy because he was a Raiders fan, but he lived in Las Vegas. And at the time they were still in Oakland. Now the Raiders are actually in Vegas where he lives. But dude, nobody, and I mean nobody, is plugged in to the Raiders the way JT the Brick is. So I'm reaching out. No promises. That's probably a pretty big ask. But needless to say, I wanted to try to get his opinion since he's got the inside scoop on the Raiders and what they may potentially do. I wanted to get his opinion. But yeah, anything can happen. And quite honestly, I would be happy with either of them. I prefer Mendoza, but I wouldn't be upset if we got more, especially if we had a decent bridge that he could sit behind for a year or two. That being said, I hope to have some really good content for you guys coming up prior to the draft. Dylan Terriman is going to be coming back on at some point. This Saturday at 8 p.m., I'm going to have Dano from the Danger Zone. Will be coming on this Saturday. And then earlier today, I messaged Joe Blewett, and he's going to come on at some point before the draft and break down like 3 of my favorite non-quarterback prospects. And so, dude, plugging along and trying to get some really good guests for the show and looking forward to it, man. Like, this is our time, Jets fans. We always win the off season. So, the draft coming up soon. I love the draft. I love watching film. I love breaking down the prospects. Awesome. This is one of my favorite time of the year. And every year at this time, there's guys that I just like fall in love with that I get so pumped up. And there's a lot of guys like that this year. We absolutely need to add to the linebacker room. Quincy's going to be gone. I don't care. He was atrocious this year. But Sonny Styles, CJ Allen, Hill from Texas, like there's a few really good linebackers at the very top. Like those top three, I really want one of those guys. But there's other guys, Lander Barton, Josiah Trotter, which is the son and / brother of Jeremiah Trotter. Jacob Rodriguez. There's a lot of really good linebackers. This is a really deep, really good linebacker class. So we should be able to address that problem easily in this draft. We need to add depth at pass rusher, and there's a lot of good ones of those too. Now, in the perfect world, we get our quarterback at 2, and somehow, some way, David Bailey slips through the cracks and is there at 16. Like, if that were to happen, I would run all the way from my home in Florida to turn in that card myself. However, that's not likely. But there's R. Mason Thomas. There's Romello Height. There's a lot of good pass rushers that we could add. We need a safety, whether it be my favorite guy, Dylan Thieneman, or if it's A.J. Halsey from LSU or Kamari Ramsey from USC. Like there's some really good safeties at the top in this class as well. So I would like to address those positions and not have to worry about wide receiver in the draft, which there's some good receivers too. I'll tell you what, that there's guys that could be sitting there potentially when we pick at like 105, whether it be Skylar Bell, Deion Burks, hell, maybe even Omar Cooper, Mendoza's teammate, could still be sitting there at that point. So there could be options, later on, but I don't want to have to address receiver early if we don't have to. The one thing that I see a lot of people doing that I can't stand is when people are in their mocks and they're like, oh, well, we've got to get a safety, or, we've got to get a defensive tackle because we traded away Quinnen. Like, no. Like, we brought in Briggs and Phillips. They can kind of handle that. And the thing is Briggs may not have had like crazy sack numbers or anything like this. He was primarily brought in to be a run stopper. However, he was a lot better as a pass rusher than I think anybody expected. And even though he didn't get the sacks, his pressure win rate was 4th in the entire NFL for an interior defensive lineman. Only Ed Oliver and 2 other guys were like ahead of him in pressure win rate. You know who was not ahead of him? Quinnen Williams. Additionally, Azaria Thomas, I think they saw enough potential in him that they were okay letting Sauce go. So this is just me, but in my opinion, if they just turn around and draft a defensive tackle or draft a corner super early in the draft, I mean, that's almost like admitting that they made a mistake and they fucked up by letting those guys go. And I don't really think that is the case, but I just had to put that out there because I watch all the different shows just like you guys do. And I've seen that, at least 3 or 4 times this week alone where people go, oh, we traded Sauce. We have to get a corner. No, I don't really think so. Then again, I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe when we get to 16, say Mansour Delane or somebody like that is there. One of the better corners is there, and they feel it's too good of a value to pass up. Who knows? However, we'll find out. You know, we got the Senior Bowl coming up. We got the Shrine Bowl coming up. We've got, a lot of chances to look at some of these players up close. So I'm looking forward to it. Um, Once again, everybody, if you're just joining and you weren't here at the beginning of the show, we have our New Year's giveaway, which it's not really New Year's anymore, but this is a new year. It's a new year for me, the show. It's a new year for the Jets. So, our New Year's giveaway, the first person to call in each live show this month automatically gets entered for our New Year's giveaway, which is an autographed Garrett Wilson helmet. You don't have to send a super chat. You don't have to gift a membership, which you can't anyway because I'm not monetized yet. But you don't have to do anything. It does not cost you a thing. All you have to do is call in and you're automatically entered. So the winner for that will be drawn on the 31st of this month. We'll do that live on the show when that time comes up. So I just wanted to throw that out there once again. So first person to call in, automatically entered. Get yourself a Garrett Wilson helmet. Also, we will be doing another giveaway like this next month for February. And since February only has 28 days, I feel it would only be right to have the number 28 as part of our giveaway. So we will be giving away an autographed Curtis Martin picture for February. So just trying to give back a little bit to the community. Like I said, there's no super chats, there's no memberships, so this is all just coming from me trying to give back to you guys and show my appreciation for the support you guys give me. At any rate, moving on. And actually, we've got a call. Mikey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ricky from New York. Yeah, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Mikey's my homeboy.
You're my homeboy, too. Ricky, the Jets just signed a guy from Michigan, the defense guy. He used to play for Baltimore. At Baltimore and the Giants. Winkendale.
Yeah, oh, yeah, Wink Martindale.
And
Yeah,
Chad Pennington as the quarterback coach.
I would love that, Mikey. I've been saying that forever. I wish we would bring Chad back in a coaching role. As far as I know right now, I think he's still coaching like high school football. I could be wrong about that.
His son's finished going to college. His son's finished going to college.
So, okay, that's what I was about to say. I thought he was coaching his son's team, but right on. Well, you know what?
I'll call Aaron. I'll go call Aaron Glenn. Call him up. Aaron Glenn, Pennington used to play with Aaron Glenn.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know. I loved the Jets back then.
What did Johnson probably pay him $10,000?
Oh, he'd probably pay him more than that. But yeah, man, you know what? I would be totally open to that. I love that idea. When Aaron Glenn first got hired, I wanted him to hire one of his other teammates, Kevin Mawai, to come in and be our offensive line coach.
That guy's awesome.
He was awesome. You know what? Kevin Mawai is hands down, the best center I have ever watched in my entire life. The way that he could pull and get out into space and lead blockers. I mean, his entire career, every year, he blocked for a 1,000-yard rusher. And even after the Jets let him go, he left and went to Tennessee, and he blocked for Chris Johnson, and he had 2,000 yards rushing.
Then he played for Mike Vrabel too. The guy from the Patriots.
Yep. So yeah, Kevin Mawai is one of my favorites. I've met him in person. You know what? Now that you bring that up, I need to upload that picture so I can put that up on the show. But yeah, I met Kevin Mawai and his wife. Really super nice guy. One of my favorite players.
Yeah, I got told the Jets not too smart to think about this thing. I don't think that's too smart.
You know what? Sometimes I wonder, Mikey. Sometimes I wonder because they definitely do some shit sometimes that I don't understand. It's tough, and
Yeah.
this year was off. This last year was awful, and I know as Jets fans, we're used to getting disappointed. It's
Yeah.
you know that just seems like the way it goes, and
Look at what quarterback we signed. Sappy for the Patriots. He used to play for the Patriots. Sappy.
yeah, we got Bailey Zappi, and I don't really expect much from him, but that's at least in the step in the right direction. Bailey Zappi, in my opinion, I think he's just going to be like our number three, our replacement for Brady Cook, which
Yeah. What
Brady
about
Cook.
Matt? What about Matt Jones? Matt Jones. Matt Jones. The
Now I
guy
don't
from
want to bring all I don't want to bring all the old Patriots in here, but I'll tell you what. I would like to see them bring in Malik Willis, the kid from Green Bay.
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. I like that guy. He's my
Yeah,
homeboy.
absolutely, man. And
That's
I
the
would be
Aaron
real
Glenn guy.
excited
That's
for
the
him.
Aaron Glenn guy. That's the Aaron
Yeah,
Glenn guy.
like I said, that's my plan for the Jets is bring in Malik Willis to be our bridge and bring in Romeo Dobbs too, a receiver that he's already got chemistry with, and then we don't have to worry about receiver in the draft. We can load up the defense.
Yeah, we
That would
should
be
get that.
awesome.
That's good. I like that idea. We don't have to worry about our draft picks. We could save it till next year. Get that's best quarterback in the whole land.
Yep.
We
Well,
don't want
Mikey.
You don't want Archie Manning because Peyton Manning is a girl. Peyton Manning is a girl. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, Arch isn't coming out this year anyway, and you know what? I think there's going to be better options out there when next year rolls around. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But I got another caller, Mikey, so I'm going to
Can
let
I
you
tell you
go.
something?
But
Can I tell you one more thing? You know
yeah, go ahead,
Williams.
man.
You know Williams guy. He used to be a quarterback too.
Yep,
He
yep.
does the kick return. He could do both things. Imagine that they put him in quarterback. Man, he would destroy everybody. So I'll let you talk to your friend.
All right, man. And since you were the first caller tonight, you were in our giveaway for the end of the month for that autographed Garrett Wilson helmet because you were the first
Oh,
one to
Garrett
call in.
Wilson. Oh, I love Garrett Wilson. Oh, I
I
died
do,
for this.
I do too, man. I knew that would be one the subscribers would love because everybody loves Garrett Wilson. Us Jets fans, we don't agree on a lot of things, but one thing we can all agree: Garrett Wilson's a badass. We all
I
like
know
him.
I have his jersey, but I didn't get his hat. Oh, I want to get his hat. Yeah. Yeah,
All right, well, I don't know about a hat, but we'll see if we can't get you a helmet, man. But thanks for calling in, Mikey. I appreciate you. And
we love you, Ricky, New York. Ricky, New York rules, everybody. To everybody in the whole world, Ricky, New York rules.
Thank you, Mikey, man. I'll call you later this week. Have a good weekend, buddy.
Okay, love you, buddy.
All right, love you too, Mikey. Have a good night. And next up, we got Tony. What's happening, man?
Hey, how you doing, Ricky? You hear me all right?
Good. I'm doing good.
Good. I need to ask you. I just started seeing the show, so because everything's everything with the other shows going on. But my concern is, I mean, I know when I spoke to you last, you're positive. I mean, you're pretty positive, and you're holding on to Glenn. I'm not going to go down that road, but my concern is like how he held on to Fields in there too long. He held on to Cooks too long, and now there's a desperate need right now for coaches, new coaches to come in, and with all the stuff that's going on with the other teams firing head coaches, all these DCs are coming less. They're going to be taken up. I believe we've seen the guy from the Giants. I get his name wrong. Martindale, or I have his
Wink
name wrong.
Martindale.
What's that?
Wink Martindale.
Yeah, I believe he came in for an interview, but I mean, but I'm hoping to see, like, like, we need a quarterback coach. We need drastic moves, and before the other teams snatch everybody up, we got to start moving fast. We can't be laying back and just like they did with hiring a head coach last year. They were laid back doing it. This has to be rapid. We have to move fast in this thing because we need.
Yeah, with particularly with so many teams needing head coaches, some of those guys are going to get taken up, which is crazy. Like now with Tomlin stepping down, like 9 teams need coaches. That's literally a third of the league. That's crazy. But I understand what you're saying too, and I agree. They stuck with Fields way too long. I think they knew what we all ended up seeing. Like Brady Cook sucked. So I can see why they weren't in a rush to put him in. Now, the one thing I will give Glenn a pass on is, like, after those Denver and Carolina games, Justin Fields was so bad. And they said if Tyrod would have been healthy, they would have made the change then, but he wasn't. So I'll give Glenn a little bit of a pass because at least he was wanting to pull Fields then. Maybe we could have put Brady Cook in then, but I mean, I don't know. The choice between Brady Cook and Justin Fields is like, would you like to get kicked in the left nut or the right? Like both options are bad.
I know, but we had that new guy who was drafted that I think in the 3rd round, the hooker. He didn't even get to see a game coming. He should have been playing to replace Cook because Cook was so horrendous.
You know what? Hendon Hooker's not really very good either. Like, and I said this on the show a couple of weeks ago. Like, the fact that we were even talking about Brady Cook versus Hendon Hooker just shows what bad shape this team was in. I think the fact that they did sign Bailey Zappi to a futures deal. I think he's going to be the Brady Cook replacement. Hopefully we draft a good quarterback and he'll be the number 2 for this year, and then bring in a guy like Willis to be our bridge, to be our number 1 for this year. But you know what? They've got to hit these picks right, and they got to get these coaching hires right. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. And listen, last year was really tough to watch. I've seen some bad years, but last year was historically bad. There were a lot of things that went into that. I'm not going to pile all the blame on Glenn, but he's got to take some of the blame because, I mean, he's in charge. So,
that was the worst coaching since I was there when Kotai was there. You probably were too, in our younger. This is horrendous, But
yeah.
hopefully, I'm hoping he learned something from this, but you can't be so stubborn,
I would guarantee you he did, and he said as much, that, learning the ins and outs of the team and the roster and things this year. I think he'll have a lot better handle on it. But yeah, man, like this year, it was a really, really tough year to be a Jets fan.
It must really suck to have to be you all the time.
It hasn't been a picnic, honestly.
There's something else, but all right, okay. You still hear me?
Yep.
Okay. The best thing with the Giants really blessed us this year. Oh my goodness, we got some good news with that. Number 2 in the draft. Now with that blessing, I'm hoping we get some Muji magic with the trade down and get a few picks to fix the holes. Get our 3rd back, get some other things back, and well, what are you seeing with that? Do you think that more will still want, other teams will still want more?
You know what? Yeah, like I think that a lot of people are overreacting after that playoff loss. Like I said, Indiana's gone through just about everybody they faced this year. I'm not down on Moore just because of that one game. It's really going to depend what the Jets think. Like I know the Jets Yeah, and Muji went to watch Mendoza in person. They had people that went to 4 different games of Mendoza's this year, and they had people that went to 3 different games of Dante Moore's this year. So they're definitely doing their homework on both guys. I think if Moore declares, I think you're going to see the Jets draft him, and I think they'll take one of those 2 guys at 2. I don't see a trade down at that point, but if for some reason Moore does not declare, yeah, a trade down would be preferable. It would just be a matter of if there's not a quarterback to take there, who's going to trade up.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm really hoping that they select the quarterback down later. I mean, I just I think like if you get somebody like I know a lot of Oliver's stock fell so much, but he was on such a bad team. I think he would probably be the best one if he had the regular team and it wasn't for his injury. But I think Moore's going to be there. But I'm hoping they trade down and get some nice added picks, and if we can get an extra third in there, I hope Oliver will last until a third to get that to pick him. You think he'll last that far, that low down there to the third, Drew Aller?
Debatable, and I got to be honest. Beyond the top 2 guys, I am not really thrilled about anybody in this quarterback class. Me personally, I wouldn't want Drew Aller. This year, he regressed. Instead of getting better, it looked like he got worse. His footwork was a mess, and yeah, I think he really hurt his stock by not coming out a year ago. I'm not crazy about him. I'm not really crazy about a lot of guys. I mean, I guess if I was gonna take a quarterback later, it would probably be Nussmeier, believe it or not. But even then, I'm not crazy about picking one. I don't buy into all the hype about Aaron Glenn being on the hot seat already. I don't think he is. I don't think it's as bad as what some people are making it seem. But that being said, we can't have a repeat of what happened this year. We can't have anything that even looks close to this year. Otherwise, his job is going to be in serious jeopardy. I think he's smart enough to know that. And dude, in order to win in this league, you've got to have a quarterback. So,
yeah. But
I would take one of those top 2 guys, and I would not think twice about it.
Okay, I'm hoping that Moore does come out only because of one reason: we can get more draft capital on a trade down. I'm hoping that's. I know Muji's I'm very happy. It seems like we have a competent GM, and if he trades down, I'm not hoping he just takes one quarterback with the trade. I hope he takes 2 quarterbacks. We're at such a desperate level. We got to be like Cleveland last year. They took 2 quarterbacks. I don't know where they picked the other guy, but I know they took Sanders in the 5th round. But
yeah, they took him.
Then they took the other guy that was terrible. But at least Sanders. We got to do the same deal this year. We got to if we get a boatload of draft picks. We got to, if we get a 3rd round, pick one, and then in the 5th round, pick another one. And, we need linebacker. We need so much. We need so much to get fixed. And,
but I'll tell you what, in one of my upcoming shows, I've been putting off doing any mock drafts until all the football's done. So once the Super Bowl happens, I'm actually going to do some mocks on the show. And, I'll show you guys how quickly we can fill a lot of those holes. If the picks fall right, like this team could get turned around rather quickly. But again, they got to pick the right players. But I'm looking forward to getting into that. I've done a bunch of mocks, and of course, free agency will happen first, and that's gonna make a big difference in what we do. But we get a guy like Linderbaum, we don't have to worry about drafting a center. We get a guy like Dobbs, we don't have to worry about drafting a receiver. say they sign like Leo Chanel, linebacker from Kansas City, like that takes care of linebacker. So what we do
No,
in
we
free
still
agency,
we need more line, but we need at least two. With this hire, if we can get that guy Sonny Styles, man,
I would love Styles.
we got to get. I mean, if we get a trade down, and let's say we go from 2 to 8, that's the pick right there. You know, because I don't know how much further he's going to drop, but he's like that guy would be awesome. And then, you know, but you and Mikey, the other caller, was talking about this quarterback from Green Bay. You think that he's a free agent?
Yep.
So he's the best. He's the most wanted. He's the most wanted now, I guess. Then, is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, he's definitely a hot name right now. One of the better ones. And the thing is there will definitely be some competition for him. But the good thing for the Jets is I think he's going to go someplace that he's going to, you know, be able to want to go where he can start, and that would be us. Even if he's just a bridge quarterback for now, he'll at least be able to start right away. And dude, the teams that need quarterbacks, none of them are good teams. However, the other teams that need a quarterback, they don't have the draft capital that we have. They don't got 5 first-round picks and, you know, 3 second-round picks. They don't have the draft capital that we do. So I think by that virtue, we're going to be one of the more attractive locations that a guy could go.
So in your opinion, I'm asking you your opinion, because don't you think with the shape, with all these, I mean, we don't have like little dot holes. We have like massive holes in the ship that, I mean, all the needs. Do you really think it's worth it even, and any quarterback you pick is still a gamble. This is what we know.
I mean, that's true any year. You know, both Moore and Mendoza, they've got a lot of potential. You know, the traits are there.
Like Mendoza seems like a sure thing out of this year. Everybody else doesn't, to me. You know, I mean, but even that's still a gamble. But what I'm saying, there's an opportunity for a trade down. Let's say you get another one next year, or a second next year, a third, and another pick this year. I would just jump and, move back like whatever. It's 5 spots. It doesn't matter to me as long as you can get Sonny Styles with that pick. I don't care about the numbers. You got to get solid players that are coming in to fix this team. I mean, you got to get.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what. I would absolutely. I was of the opinion, like, if somehow Styles is there when we pick at 16, you absolutely take him. But you got Miami at 11. You got the Bucks 1 pick before us. You got, a couple of teams that could take him before he gets to us. And, I know that because I live here in Tampa, dude, like the Tampa people are all saying the same thing. They all want Styles. Like, he's going to be a popular name. But even if he comes off the board, like, dude, in a heartbeat, I would take CJ Allen or Anthony Hill, like one of those 3 guys. And one of those guys will be there for us. Like I said, I know we got a lot of holes to fill, but if it was me, Willis, Dobbs, Linderbaum, and free agency, there's your center, your bridge quarterback, and your number 2 receiver. You get to the draft, you draft your rookie quarterback at 2. And then
no. Can I get you to change that plan? We with the desperate holes in this team, we can't afford to have a quarterback sit. We got to get one of these people that can come in and play like Styles.
No, there's where I disagree. You get a young quarterback like that, and you stick him in there right away, and it's going to be Sam Darnold all over again. Like you want him to have some time to sit. Dude, the last time we had a really good quarterback, a really, really good quarterback was probably Chad Pennington. And guess what? He sat behind Vinny and learned. So, that's what I would do. And then I would take, say, a Styles or an Allen at 16. 33, you take a pass rusher like Romello Heights. 44, you take your safety like Dylan Thieneman, and right there, some of your major holes are all filled. And I think they'll bring back one of Simpson or AVT, so guard shouldn't be a big need. But right there, I mean, that's gonna drastically improve this team right there with just those players I named. And you still got 3 first rounders next year. So like I think the Jets have the ammo to like. And the other thing is it's a great idea to trade back and get more picks, but more picks means more money. You got to pay all of these guys. And we've already got a lot of picks. So, I mean, we can't have like a 15-person draft class. We wouldn't have money to pay them all.
Don't we have 11 this year?
Yeah, we've got a lot already.
Okay, but the problem is we ain't got nothing, the third round, and then it's such a big drop off in the, down.
Well, we're missing a third rounder, but we've got 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Like I'm not worried about missing a third when we've got 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Like we're in better shape than we would normally be. So
thankful for Muji replacing that third round for the Reddick bus trade from JD, and he got us a second with the Dallas trade for somebody that would be a free agent this year.
Yep, that was a good move, and I've liked a lot of Muji's moves. I like the Brownlee trade. I like the value he got for Quinnen, and the Sauce trade. That was a stroke of genius. To be able to get 2 first rounders and a good receiver for Sauce was awesome. That's a deal that I would make 10 times.
And we got blessed with that because that draft pick was projected to be like somewhere around 29, 30, and it moved all the way up to 16. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, after the Colts acquired Sauce Gardner, they did not win another game the rest of the year after that trade.
What? I mean, I guess they got the Jets curse there, didn't they?
Yeah, they can have him. No interceptions. Always blaming other guys. Like, yeah, they can have him. That's fine. When I watched his very first game with the Colts, and I watched him fall on his face a couple of different times, and once to give up the game winner at the end of the game, I was thinking, oh man, this trade just looks better all the time. And
that money he was due to make, we're saving that money too. So the Indianapolis really pulled through for us with that trade. They blessed us a lot.
Yes, they absolutely did, man. Absolutely. So yeah, man, I think this thing's going to turn around with the ammo that we have. Like so many early picks, we're going to get some good players, and I think that's what we really need. We just need to get rid of the old, bring in the new, bring in some more of Aaron Glenn's type guys, get rid of the Saleh leftovers, the Quincy Williams, the Tony Adams, the guys that haven't performed up to standards, the guys that are, moping and have just gotten used to losing and think that that's just the way it is. And what do they care? They're getting paid anyway. All that shit attitude needs to go. So I'm ready for some new blood to come in.
Yeah. Can you just tell me why you think Moore is so good? I know his youth. I think he's only 20, right? I'm not sure.
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, he's only 20, and Glenn's always saying it's a young man's game, which it is. But when you watch Moore, like some of his passes, especially like deep passes down the sideline, it's so accurate, and he throws this nice back shoulder ball that's really hard to defend. I saw a lot from Moore that I really, really liked, and granted the game against Indiana was not a good game. However, I would put a lot of that. His offensive line did nothing to help him. When you look at some of the other receivers, you look at, Ty Simpson, for example, has Jeremy Bernard, who's probably going to be a 2nd or 3rd round pick. Same thing with Mendoza. You got Surratt, who's probably going to be a high pick. Omar Cooper, who could go anywhere, end of the second to third round. Like they've all got guys, but really, like Moore didn't have that big name receiver like some of these other teams had. Like his number one target was like his tight end who just declared for the draft today. So giving the weapons that he had, like, dude, he was good, and I think he's going to be a good player in the league. And I'm not going to condemn him over one game. And like I said, the team around him did not do him any favors in that game at all.
But aren't you a little worried about? I mean, I'm worried, but you seem pretty confident in this guy. But I think he only had 14 or 15 games, not enough games under his belt. You
know what? That's true, but he also sat behind Dylan Gabriel for a year in Oregon and was able to learn there. And I mean, it's not like he hasn't been around football this whole time. And Sam Darnold didn't have a ton of starts when we drafted him either. So it just, I'm not really worried about it now. I say that now, but I'll put a caveat on that. I won't worry as long as they bring in the right people to develop him. And that's where we need, a good passing game coordinator, a good quarterbacks coach, whether we bring in, Cliff Kingsbury or, somebody like that, somebody to help develop this young kid. Then I'm not going to be worried.
I'm worried. I'm worried now that they're not moving on this now to bring these guys in. They have to be. That guy London has to be. He should have been fired already and trying to get people in to fill the position.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And now one thing that I will push back on, like when you listen to some of the other shows, they'll go, "Oh, he's a running back coach. He doesn't have any idea about." Like that's not really true. Like he's been coaching quarterbacks for like the last 5 years. He has been a quarterback coach, but the quarterbacks that he's coached, the Desmond Ridder years in Atlanta, they were bad. Will Levis and Malik Willis, both in Tennessee, when he was there, were bad. And when he was in Seattle, Geno Smith regressed when he was there. So like anywhere he's been the quarterback's coach, the quarterbacks did not look good. And then you put this year on top of it with the Jets, and his resume, it does not look good, man. Like he's had some of the worst quarterbacks in the league at damn near every stop that he's had. So yes, I will agree 100%. Charles London needs to go. If I was AG, his office would have already been packed up and he'd be gone.
This is my red flag with Glenn. He's like slacking along there. This guy should have been removed immediately because you got Justin Fields. He never played this bad, and I don't know if I can defend it or not. But the guy's not doing it. And then was even worse when I don't know if it was him or Engstrom decided to put Fields as a pocket passer. That was like a terrible move, not playing him to his strengths. I mean,
there's that, but there's also the fact that like when they told Field they want to start running Wildcat, he wouldn't do it. So I wonder how much of that was him refusing to run because he was worried about getting hurt again. Like, you know what? I don't even want to waste time talking about Justin Fields. He's a thing of the past. Everybody knew that was going to be kind of a gamble. We were hoping because Glenn usually has a history of getting the most out of his players, he could do that with Fields. But I think he overestimated Fields. I think he overestimated himself when it came to Fields. And he stuck with him way too long. And, maybe if Tyrod had been healthy, we could have got rid of Fields earlier. But the bottom line is once Field didn't work out, the answer wasn't anywhere on this roster. And there ain't nothing you can do about replacing a quarterback midseason. It was just too late. But I'm sorry for bringing up that stuff. I'm sorry for cutting you off. But it would be really hard to talk about Jets, 12 week without bringing up bad stuff. So
Yeah, but the thing is, like, but this is the point I was trying. I don't know how I wound up in Fields and just discussed it with the court. I don't know if that was the OC or the quarterback coach. It may be a mixture of the two, but also, but my concern is the Glenn doesn't react fast enough. Like look at Wilkes. He should have been let go a month or two before that, but and then he doesn't really do anything. He should have helped with the DC. He should have helped. He wasn't like Holbrook, the guy last year that became.
And this is the thing is, like, even when Wilkes was fired, the first thing I said is, if the only thing that's going to change is the guy calling the plays, this isn't going to get much better, because I think the scheme was a problem to begin with, which like it was weird to me, because AG has always been like a guy that runs heavy man, and Wilkes is his own guy. We've got these prototypical, big, strong, aggressive, like long man corners, and then we're playing a zone scheme. But you can't throw out the whole defensive playbook midway through the year either, So, I kind of get it, but yeah. Once again, I think that maybe Glenn has learned from some of these mistakes. And the other thing is, I'm not too worried about them right now. Like, as far as the moves they're making, I know they've had a couple of interviews already, but I'm sure there's things going on behind the scenes that we don't see, that we're not hearing about. And, Aaron Rodgers, jackass that he is, decided to go on TV this past week and say that Pittsburgh is so much better than what he had with the Jets because there's no leaks in the ship. Well, guess what? There ain't no leaks in the ship now. Like, nobody knew that Sauce was coming. Nobody knew the Quinnen trade was coming. All that bullshit that we used to hear about, we're not hearing about any of it. So Glenn has fixed the leaks in the ship as far as the front office is concerned. It just shows you, like, Devontae and Aaron Rodgers, like, your current team is in the playoffs. Why are you taking shots at the Jets? That's just a bitch move. No other way to say it. And you know what? I guess, you made it to the playoffs and then you got bounced out, one and done. You can hang your hat on that if you want, but whatever. I just don't see the reason to take shots at us. This team gave Rodgers absolutely everything he wanted. His shitty offensive coordinator that he wanted to work with. We brought in Devontae and Randall Cobb and everybody that he wanted here, we brought in. And none of it worked. And somehow, in the mind of Aaron Rodgers, it's all the Jets' fault and not his. That, you know what? That shows you right there. They let Aaron Rodgers rule the roost. They let him have his way, do whatever he wanted when he was here, brought in all his guys, and, letting Aaron Rodgers be the de facto coach blew up in their face. And then people are mad that we didn't bring him back. Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, but I know, I just wanted to ask you this. Do you know what Glenn's plan is and how it will come about? When will it work? I have no clue. He talks about his plan. What is his plan? Because it doesn't seem to be working well. I know Muji is doing all the things, but
listen, those two guys work hand in hand. And from the outside, it may not look like that. But, like, if you talk to people around here, they would probably tell you, like, oh, yeah, Ricky makes all the decisions. Ricky, runs the household, runs the business. It's all him. But behind the scenes, me and my wife discuss everything. We're a team, we have differences of opinion, but we always find something that mutually we can agree on and move forward with. So I think there's really good communication between the two of them. And the plan is, bring in good players that fit his system and bring in the coaches that can get the most out of those players. Now, the Wilkes thing was a disaster. Okay. But if you rewind and even the Fields thing, like, dude, the quarterback options last year were shit. Like they were awful. The fact that Justin Fields appeared to be the best of those people available, you know, Daniel Jones wasn't staying in New York after the time he had with the Giants. So we can't even talk about him. So you're talking about, you know, Jameis Winston. He wasn't taking us to the promised land as much as I like Jameis. Justin Fields or Mac Jones, who at that time had been a disaster. And I know Mac Jones looked adequate with the 49ers, but I think it's that 49ers team that's around him, that good defense, Christian McCaffrey, the receivers they have. You know, that's like a solid team. That's what the Jets should have been. A really good defense, a good running game, and an adequate quarterback will get you by. But you know, Justin Fields, his running ability, he had upside. You know, if we could get him to develop as a passer, that seemed like the best option. And you could rewind to before the season started, and you'll hear Jake Asman say, like, I understand why they got Fields. Out of the options that were there, he was clearly the best with the most upside. You can go back and you'll hear him say that, you know, Wilkes was probably a good hire because he has head coaching experience, and he's somebody that a first-time coach like Aaron Glenn could lean on. Like, those seemed like good additions at the time. Like, to say now, like, oh, you know, Wilkes sucked. Like, yeah, we can say Wilkes sucked and Fields sucked because we've seen it. Before it happened, people weren't saying that. People didn't think that. Now, in hindsight, looking at Wilkes, the fact that he's been one and done pretty much everywhere he's been would have been a huge red flag to me. I get the fact that he was a head coach before, and yeah, maybe that was beneficial to Glenn in some way, but the negative effect he had on our defense, it was not worth it, and it did not work out. But again, it was a learning experience, and I think they're going to reload and reset, and I think we're going to see a lot different product this year. So we better. That's all I can say. You know, I would say this year, 6-7 wins, I would be happy as long as I can see some progress. And the next year, it's playoffs or you're out. But if we start out like 0-6 next year or something, Glenn's probably gone. I don't think that's going to happen. Especially early in the year, you know, it looks like we should have a somewhat easy schedule earlier in the year. But, you know, there's going to be some tough games, but, you know, there's a lot of winnable games on that schedule too. So I'm thinking we're going to definitely see some improvement. I'm down for it. And like, listen, Glenn's a smart guy. The things that he did wrong this year is, you know, I think he brought in some of the wrong people. I think he tried some things that didn't work. I didn't like the idea of him and Wilkes like trying to like make this defense that was like a mixture of their two philosophies. I think it should have been one or the other. But I think he will have learned for that. And I think it'll be better this time around. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do in free agency and the draft. And like I said, you know, I'll let you know. Are you on Discord, Tony?
No, I don't even know what that is. I'm just on the YouTube thing.
Okay. Well, I'll keep up with you in the chat and stuff then. But I'll let you know, and when I'm getting ready to do some of my mocks, and you'll definitely want to tune in for those because I'll show you what, you know, the right addition of players, how quickly we could turn this thing around, and I'm looking forward to that. But dude, appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you. A lot of good questions, and you know what? Aaron Glenn, right now, Aaron Glenn isn't going nowhere, so we can either get behind him, support him, and hope for the best, or, you know, we could sit here and scream and yell, we should fire Aaron Glenn and waste all of our time knowing that he's not going anywhere. Me, I prefer to be positive and look towards the future. But Dude,
Yes.
thank you for calling in, man. Appreciate you like always. And
God bless. Take care now.
all right, man. Don't be a stranger. All right, man. Well, for right now, that just about covers it, because until we get the official word from Dante Moore, we don't know whether he's going to declare or whether he isn't. We should be finding that out within the next couple of days. And once we do, I'll be doing a show about that. Hopefully, we'll be talking about that Saturday night. Saturday night, once again, I'll be joined by Dano from the Danger Zone. And we have a new entry into our giveaway for this month. Mikey Midnight is now into the giveaway. So, once again, a quick reminder, the very first caller to call in at every single show this month automatically gets entered in our New Year's giveaway for the autographed Garrett Wilson helmet. So you don't have to super chat. You don't have to give a membership. All you got to do is call in and you're automatically entered to win. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate every one of you, man. It's been awesome. And I look forward to seeing you all this weekend. I will be back Saturday night at 8 p.m. Until then, everybody have a great week. And like always, go Jets.